Hello everyone and welcome back to Python lectures. In this video, we are going to see about file handling in Python. Now, data is very important. Every organization depends on its data for continuing its business operation. If the data is lost, the organization has to be closed. Now, this is the reason computers are primarily created for handling data and especially for storing and retrieving the data. To store data in a computer, we need files. For example, we can store employee data like employee number, name, and salary in our files using a computer and later use it whenever we want. Therefore, we will be requiring a programming language which can allow us to handle files. Now, Python 2 supports file handling and allows user to handle files, that is to read and write into the files, along with many other file handling options. Python treats file differently as text or binary, and this is very important. Talking about different types of files that are available. The files can be categorized into two categories. The first is the text file and the second one is the binary. Text file stores data in the form of characters. For example, if we store employee name as Anjali, it will be stored in 6 characters, and the employee salary as 50,000, it's stored in 7 characters, and so on. Normally, text files are used to store characters or strings. The second category is of binary files. They store the entire data in form of bytes, that is a group of 8 bits each. For example, a character is stored as a byte and an integer is stored in form of 8 bytes if we are working on a 64-bit machine. When the data is retrieved from the binary file, the programmer can retrieve the data as bytes. Binary files can be used to store text, images, audio, or videos. Now let us move towards the first operation that we need to perform on a file. Well, it is very simple. In order to read or write a file, first we need to open it. Right? So we can use the open function to open a file. This function accepts two arguments. First is the file name and the other is the open mode. Right? Here, FP is the file handler object, which is after execution of this particular syntax statement can be used to refer the file anywhere in our program. But one thing is to be understand that file name is okay, very simple, file the name of your file. What do we understand by the mode? Mode is an optional string that specifies the mode in which the file is to be opened. There are several kinds of modes, but the major three are as follows. The first is R, which stands for reading. This opens a file to read the file. The file pointer is positioned at the beginning of the file when the file is open in the read mode. The second one is W. This stands for writing. To write the data into the file, we use this mode. If any data is already present in the file, it would be deleted and the present data will be stored. The third one is the append mode. It is used to append the data in the file. Appending means adding at the end of the existing data. The file pointer is placed at the end of the file. If a file does not exist, it is going to create a new file for writing the data. Same is the case with W. If a file is not existed, then W is used to create a new file. But the same is not available, but the same functionality is not available with read mode. If we open a file which does not exist on our disk, then if we open it in read mode, then this is going to create an error. The last one is read plus, that is R plus. It stands for both reading and writing. But in Python 3, it added a new mode for exclusive creation so that you will not accidentally truncate or overwrite an existing file. So there are two modes, X for the text file and XB for the binary. X stands for open for exclusive creation and it will raise a file exist error if the file already exists. And XB does the same but for the binary files. Let's move to our Python screen and see how we can open a file using the open method. So now let us see how we can actually work with files in Python. So first of all, over here I will be declaring a variable and this variable is going to act as the file handler. Then we will be starting with the open function, that is the function that is used to open up the files. Here I need to perform two arguments. The first is the file name and the second one is the mode in which we want to open up the file. So the first thing is, if your file exists in your current working directory, then you can pass the name of your file as it is. Otherwise, what you have to do is to copy the complete part of your file and pass it as the name parameter. So just open up the properties and you can get the file names. I have created a file over here. This is a simple text file naming my file, and I just right clicked on it, went to the property and just copied the location of the file, right? So just copy the location of your file and remember, don't forget to actually change the slashes over here. The slash should be in this direction, right? Because there is a reading issue with that particular slash. So my file dot txt is the file, and now the mode in which I want to open up the file, and let it be R for the time being. I want to open it in the reading mode. And if the file get opened successfully, then I want to print a statement that the file opened successfully. That's it. Right? So if I run the code, you can see that the file has now been opened successfully, and we can actually perform certain other operations or instruction which are actually used to read the content out of the file. Right. One more thing that if I want to show over here is, if I change the name of the file as XYZ, right, and run, because that file does not exist on my desktop, right? So this R mode is going to give an error that file is not found, right? But if I open the file in the write mode or in the append mode, then you can see that it has already created a file first, right? So what W mode do is, it first checks whether the file exists or not. If the file is not there, then it actually creates a file and then open it for actually the further execution. So that was the difference between R, W and A. Now, we have till now seen how to open up the file, but the next thing is to know how we can actually close the file. So first of all, what I will be doing is, I will be checking whether the file is closed or not, right? So I will be writing just a statement which is asking a question, is the file closed, right? So I need to know whether the file is closed or not. And then what I will be doing is over here making the use of the file handler. Now the thing is, every single time whenever I want to refer my file or want to perform any instruction on it, then at that point of time I will be making use of this file object and calling all the methods over it. So first method that I'm going to call is the closed method. Now this is a method that returns boolean. If the file is closed, it returns true, otherwise it returns false. So if I run the code, you can see that the file is closed. No, the file is yet opened. So what we need to do, we need to explicitly close the file with the close function. With the open, we are opening the file, and with the close, we are closing the file. And what I'm going to do is just copy this print statement again and paste it here. And now if I am running the code again, you can see the file is opened. Then I have asked whether the file is closed, it says false. But after closing it explicitly, the function is going to return true, that now the file has been closed. So that was a little introduction that how we can open the file and close the files in Python. Now, there are certain attributes which are associated with the file, such as the file name, such as the mode in which the file has been opened, and so on. So can we print that also? So just making use of a print statement and writing, let's say, name of the file, right? And to use it, again, we are going to refer the file object with fp and dot name. The next thing is, what if I want to know the mode in which I have opened the file? So mode of the file, right? So what is the mode of the file? Simplest, fp.mode, right? And if I now clear the screen and run it, you can see that the complete name, that is the parameter that I have passed over here in the quotes, is now printed over here, and the mode of the file is R. If I change it to W, then you can see that it is returning W over here. So that is how we can actually access the attributes that are associated with your file. The now next thing is, what we have seen till now is to open and to close the files. Now what if I forgot to close my file, right? I have opened a file and I forgot to close it. And what if I have 50 files to be opened into my program, and then I have to write 50 times fp1.close, fp2.close 50 times. So that would considerably increase the size of my code. And the Python is used to claim that I am a very concise language. So is Python has anything for this particular problem also, whether I have to close each and every file every single time? Let us see. Now let us see how with keyword eradicates the need of closing the file every single time. Now that concept is known as using the context manager. Suppose you open a file by open function, worked on it and forget to close it. That could lead to a situation of accidentally losing your data stored in that file. After all, to err is human. Another condition may arise if you don't close the file handlers. You may cross the limit of number of files that can be opened on your system, rendering you not able to work. But Python takes care of it by letting us open our files using the with keyword. When we open a file using a with keyword, we don't need to explicitly close our file. Python does it on its own. So that is the importance of Python being a concise language. Now let us see how we can work with keyword. So now working with keyword, let me just delete a few lines of my code, clear the terminal, and now here what I'm going to do is to open up a file with keyword with open, and open will take the same arguments as before, that is the name of your file and the mode in which you want to open it. So let me just copy it from here and paste it, and let me just comment the above statement because I do not require it anymore. Now the open as FP. So what I want to open the file with keyword, and I want to refer that file as FP in the rest of my code. Now you can see the indentation. The colon has made a block inside the with keyword. Now here I will be printing these two print statements again, which is going to check whether the file has opened successfully, and the second print statement which is used to check if the file is now been closed or not. And in the next line, I will be just copying this print statement and printing it again here. And do not require these two print statements anymore. Right, so this is something what we did. We just open up a file, checked whether it is opened or not, then checked if it is closed or not, and then after out of the with block, again we are checking the closing status. So if I run the code now, you can see that the file is opened successfully, this print statement, that is with is successfully opening up a file. Then inside the with, if I am asking if the file is closed, it is saying no, the file is yet been opened, right? So this is inside, the file is open, and as soon as I get out of the with block, you can see that the file is closed on its own. Now that is the beauty of with statement, that we have not required to explicitly close our file every single time. So that was a small lecture in which we actually saw the introduction, that what is file, what are the two different types of file, how we can actually open up the file, close the file, and open up the file with the help of with keyword. So I hope that you enjoyed this lecture, and for more lectures in which we are going to learn how to read the file, how to write the file, stay tuned to my channel, and thanks for watching.